So the cicadas are back 17 years underground, and they have emerged over huge parts of the eastern United States. Billions of them. There are so many brood X cicadas around that people have started eating them. Normally we would judge anyone who would eat a winged insect, but in a moment like this, you got to keep an open mind, and we have. Brett Larson knows a lot about eating bugs. He's from Fox News Headlines. He's going to walk us through a taste test of brood X cicadas. Brett, good to see you.
Tucker, good to be here. Yeah, the brood X kind of sounds like the rival gang at the high school quad, but this is the group of cicadas that show up every 17 years. Last time we saw them was 2004. They are notable for that loud sound that they make. It's often heard when we go to press conferences throughout the Washington, D.C. area when we're hearing politicians. It's almost hard to hear them. 100 decibels is how loud that sound can get. It's interesting. The sound that you are hearing from the cicadas is actually the mating call of the male cicada to the female cicada to get the groove on so they can make the babies, drop them back down in the ground, and they'll pop out 17 years later. They are edible, and Tucker, we got you some edibles ready for you from the Rising Creek Bakery in Mount Morris, PA. They sent you quite a variety of delicious treats there, including cicadas. Now, we have to say this. The FDA has said if you have an allergy to shellfish, so shrimp or lobster, crawfish, things like that, if you have an allergy to those, don't eat the cicadas. You'll have an allergic reaction to the cicadas because they're actually in the same family, but they are otherwise safe to eat. As for your pets, it's okay for them to eat them in moderation if your dog goes out in the backyard and grabs them. So are you going to try one of these delicious cookies and let the world know that they're pretty tasty?
I got to be honest with you, Brett. My producers left these on my desk as I was writing my scripts, and I never looked carefully at baked goods, and I already ate one. And I can say, I'm embarrassed to admit that, but it's actually true. I shouldn't have, but I did. They just looked too good, and it was delicious, but they've asked me to eat one on TV just to reassure our viewers who are kind of on the fence about eating bugs, who are bug curious. As we say in the bug community, and I'm going to eat it. There's a cicada right on the top.
Yeah, I mean, I think you dip.
Honestly, it's delicious.
Yeah, you dip
I mean
something.
As we say in the bug community, and I'm going to eat it. There's a cicada right on the top.
Yeah, I mean, I think you dip.
Honestly, it's delicious.
Yeah, you dip something.
As we say in the bug community, and I'm going to eat it. There's a cicada right on the top.
Yeah, I mean, I think you dip. In chocolate, it's not going to be that bad. I've seen recipes popping up online from all the celebrity chefs. Toss them a little sesame oil, throw a little chopped garlic in there. They're going to be amazing. Just don't get any different ideas. You know, double check before you're eating other bugs, but just know that the cicadas are safe for now, and actually they're a good source of protein. So all in all, and as you're saying, they're not that bad. So maybe every 17 years we have some interesting edibles involving bugs.
The only thing that kind of wrecks it for me is I know that Bill Gates approves. So this is the last time I eaten cicadas. But for the record,
but there's no
microchips
in the cicadas. They've been in the ground for too long.
No. Yeah, we don't know that, Brett. Brett Larson, thanks so much. So what is this new bug food gonna look like? Well, here it is.
Hey, my name is Chef Joseph Yoon, Edible Insect Ambassador, and we work to raise awareness and appreciation for sustainable forms of protein. How can we sustainably feed the growing population around the world? And it doesn't suggest that we want to get rid of anything. How do we add something to our diets and maybe look towards the past for solutions for the future? They're incredibly nutritious, they're sustainable, but most importantly, they can be prepared absolutely deliciously.
So as long as we're switching from ribeye to cicadas, we might as well make it good. Chef Joseph Yoon is trying his best to do that. He's the executive director of Brooklyn Bugs, an organization that, without any shame at all, promotes bug food. He joins us on set now. Chef Yoon, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
So we're assuming, leaving politics aside, we're just assuming for the purpose of this segment, this is just inevitable. We're going to be eating bugs, so we might as well make the best of it. And you have definitely made the best of it. Tell us what kind of bugs you cook.
I cook with a lot of different insects, and really crickets are like a really big gateway bug, if you will. But you know, one of the really big reasons that we love to highlight this is that it's so fun, it's delicious. We can talk about sustainability and everything, but if it doesn't taste good, it's not going to be successful.
Well, I agree with you completely. I don't know what's in a wheat then, but I'll eat them. So is there any bug that you won't prepare as food that's too far for you?
Well, I only work with bugs that I know are scientifically proven to be edible for human consumption.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and you know, a big part is like, how can we reimagine edible insects? And it's not something that we're trying to force on anybody. It's just like one option that we have to consider as a food source.
So I think, just before we get into what you prepared today, I think everyone has the same question in mind. Will cockroaches be on the menu? Are they ever prepared, cockroaches?
You know, all the insects that we use are farmed or harvested specifically for human consumption.
Okay.
And cockroaches may be on that list, but I personally don't really think that we're ready for cockroaches just yet.
Good.
Yeah.
But what is that? No, I go right to the...
All right, so I wanted to bring some sweet and savory.
Okay.
And so here we have cricket caramel popcorn and cricket chocolate covered crickets.
Okay.
And also a cricket burger.
Cricket burger.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to start slowly.
Okay.
As a child would, with the chocolate covered cricket. Do you
All
mind
right.
if I eat that?
No, please. I think.
So that is chocolate covering a cricket.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
What part of the cricket?
The entire, well, the legs are shaken off, but it's pretty much the entire cricket.
Including the loins.
The loins are included in that piece. Yeah, that's right.
That's delicious.
I love your willingness to try this because it's really just like a psychological thing to separate. This isn't a cricket hopping around the ground.
Right.
It's a cricket that was farmed and harvested.
I'll put anything in my mouth, Chef. I have no limits. Tell me what.
That's a cricket caramel popcorn. We got crickets in there, and like, you know, if we could just think about presenting this as food that we already recognize. We could have extreme dishes that highlights like that's super bugified, but what about ways that are a little more familiar for us to try to eat?
100%.
And so I just try to give people the options. I'm not trying to force this on anybody.
No, I get it. I get it.
And it's really like, hey, if you want to try it, I'd love to share this with you. If you don't, then I'm also very fine with that.
100%. Well, I'd eat chocolate-covered crickets all day.
Let's take that to the bank.
Now, I'm not going to eat this right now because frankly, it's too early here in Los Angeles for me. But can you tell us what that is? That just looks like a hamburger.
Yeah, so that's a cricket burger that we formulate, and it's not 100% cricket like a beef burger because we need to fill it with like other things to give it the mouthfeel, the texture of a real burger.
Can you be a little more specific about what these other things are?
So we use like soy and like aromatics like onions and garlic, and we also use like different sort of like yeast, like the yeast, and it really just kind of like gives it like a nice mouthfeel and flavor.
I'm gonna smell it, and then I'm just gonna nibble on it.
Okay, you know what? If eating together kind of helps.
You know what? I trust you so much.
Forget the morning time.
You're the first bug chef I've ever met. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it.
Thank you. Yeah, bug appetit.
Well, it's not bad at all. It's actually pretty good. Roughly, I'm not gonna hold you to it, but how many crickets per burger would you say?
Well, in this burger, we have it's mostly the powder that I use, and each one has probably like about 1 tablespoon, which is 1 to 2 tablespoons of cricket powder.
And how many crickets does that represent?
That I'd have to get back to you on. I don't know exactly how many.
And I assume they're humanely killed.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to ask for details on that. Okay, Chef Yoon, if anybody can sell this country on bugs, it's you. And we're grateful that you took the time to show us our future. And I'll say for the cricket corn, it's excellent.
You know, thank you so much for your interest in sharing the work that we do. I think whether people like it or dislike it, it's important just to give people the option. And so that's really what I'm really grateful for, the opportunity to share this work with you. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Chef Yoon. Subscribe to the Fox News YouTube channel.